In most American police departments, body-worn video is switched on when a police officer begins their shift and is only switched off when the shift ends. In England and Wales, it's for the officer themselves to decide when their camera should be activated. That is, except in certain cases such as where they anticipate the use of force, in which case recording is mandatory. With that in mind, let's go back to the 25th of February 2020. The man in this video has gone into a Sainsbury's in Birmingham to get his money back. He bought chewing gum from the store the night before so he could get £50 cash back. The first transaction was declined, so he tried again, and this time it went through. However, when he checked his account the following day, he saw that he'd been debited for two £50 transactions, not one. He called the bank, who gave him the transaction ID numbers, and told him to go to the store to get a refund. It's fair to say that the manager treated him with suspicion and contempt from the outset, refusing to acknowledge that such an error could have occurred. Instead, he insinuated that it was the customer who was attempting to rip off the store, not the other way round.
Sainsbury's last night, two transactions, one after the other. Right, she charged me for chewies and then took 50 quid at the shelf. I want me 50 quid. There's the authorisation code that you can check now on your till, which is the first one. That's the first one, and that's the second one. And I want me £50 back, please, now. That's all I want, otherwise I'm not going.
What say is you actually purchased two chewies to get 50 quid.
No, I haven't. She's given me one pack of chewies. One pack of chewies I've had, and then she's took the 50, and do you know what I mean? Okay. I've got two authorisations.
As soon as security guards come here, I'm gonna go check the CCTV.
Yeah, okay. I was in here last night about half 9.
And I can see exactly that you purchased two chewies.
No, I've got one chewy.
I can check that.
Yeah, we'll go and check it then. Go and check it now, mate.
Without giving me attitude, mate.
You're wasting my time, mate.
No, you're wasting mine.
I have to fucking drive halfway over Birmingham because I've been robbed off your staff. The staff robbing here.
Fuck off, just get out.
I won't.
Get
Me. You can't touch me, lad.
I can.
You can't touch me.
I can.
Go on, it's assault. It's assault.
No, you're assaulting me verbally.
No, I'm not. I'm being robbed. I'm not leaving till
Leave my store.
Don't touch me, lad, because it's assault. You touch me, it's assault. You touch me, it's assault. It's on camera.
Leave my store.
I won't.
Leave my store.
I won't. It's not your store.
It is my store.
It's not your store. Do you own this store?
Yeah.
No, you don't. You're a manager.
Do. I'm a manager, which is my store.
Listen, go and check the fucking camera and get my money, lad, and then I'll go.
Step outside. I will check.
I won't. I'm waiting here, lad. I've got a right. It's my right to stay here. I've got the right.
Yes, please. Could I get police?
Customer is always...
Grab Brindley police. Brindley security.
Customer is always right.
Yes, I've got an offensive customer, please. It's active. Yeah, I've got red and blue light on mine.
Don't get cash back, you know, you might take more than you should.
Thank you, bye.
Within minutes, a police car arrived with the sirens blaring, and 4 of West Midlands' finest piled into the shop. And in less than a minute, this happens. The first part of this body-worn video is silent because it's rolling loop footage, a 30-second self-erasing recording that is perpetually captured while the camera's off. As soon as the camera is activated, that buffered video is added to the start of the recording. Handy for finding out what happened in the moments leading up to the camera being switched on.
Oh my God. There you go. What the fuck? Who's assault? You're resisting arrest. I haven't done none. Yes, you have. Right. Oh my God. 0577's in control. Yeah, one man in custody for breach of the peace originally. Now resist arrest as well. If only you shut your mouth, we could have talked about it. I'm not here to be called a fucking muppet by you, do you understand? Yes, you did. It's on my camera.
Sainsbury's.
Strangely, this is the only footage captured by police at the scene. Despite 4 officers being in attendance, only one of them activated their camera, and even then only did so halfway through the arrest. So back at the station and with the man in custody, the 4 officers, PC Mulvale, Gwilliams, Mitra and Hollis, completed their witness statements. Collectively, they asserted that when they arrived at the store, the customer was shouting and threatening the staff, demanding his money back. PC Malval alleged that when he tried to explain to the man why he could not get his money back, he became aggressive and would not let the officer speak. Upon request to leave the store, he shouted, "I'm not fucking going anywhere." According to Malval, the man resisted his arrest for breach of the peace and then shouted, "I'm not going to be fucking arrested." Fearing for everybody's safety, the officer claimed that he had no option but to use his PAVA spray. However, it did not have any immediate effect. The man shouted, "Your PAVA is shit," and then spat a mouthful of it back at the officer, hitting him on the chest. Malville then gave a knee strike to the man's upper left leg, which brought him to the floor. During this struggle, it was further alleged that he attempted to break the officer's wrist. Therefore, he was further arrested for assaulting a constable. These are the facts as asserted and agreed by all the officers at the scene. After the arrest, the man was carted off to custody and held for 12 hours while the officers, for whatever reason, decided to upgrade the charge from assault to actual bodily harm. Meanwhile, the investigating officer decided to return to the store some 10 hours later to get a copy of the CCTV. This yielded very little as there was no audio and it only captured part of the scene. However, from this footage, the investigator could ascertain that the time between the officers entering the store and PC Malval lunging forward to make the arrest was approximately 50 seconds. It was then discovered that the security guards were also wearing body-worn video, and unlike the police, had switched them on as soon as the 4 officers arrived. The investigator examined this new body-worn video evidence, and a few weeks later, the suspect was informed that the police were dropping all charges. Why? What was it they'd seen that had caused a sudden change of heart? Well, this is what the investigating officer wrote against his decision to close the case. Following a case review by DS20455 Parhill on the grounds that the body-worn camera belonging to Sainsbury's undermined the initial reported allegations that Mr. Hamer's behaviour was aggressive, the situation was in fact escalated by the manager himself. Therefore, the subsequent police response and use of force appeared, in hindsight, disproportionate in the circumstances. So, had the manager somehow inserted himself into the scene, causing it to escalate and have the man arrested? If so, why hadn't any of the officers' statements mentioned that? But rather than dwell on it any further, the investigating officer took the unusual step of destroying the footage given to them by Sainsbury's in breach of the standard 90-day retention period of evidential material. Case closed. And that would have been the end of the matter if it were not for one small fly in the police's ointment. Somebody else got a copy of the Sainsbury's video. Solicitor Ian Gould. He was hired by the arrested customer to pursue a civil claim against West Midlands Police for assault. And the first thing Ian did was to issue a notice to Sainsbury's telling them to retain the footage pending a civil suit. Destroying the video at that stage would have been a criminal offence. But Sainsbury's staff, seemingly gunning for the police, were determined to ensure that the footage was never fully revealed. The video they sent to Ian Gould was so heavily and badly redacted, it looked like it had been filmed through a cartoon telescope. All the sound was out of sync, the footage was jumbled together, and lo and behold, the police's entry into the store was completely obliterated. It took a pre-action disclosure order from the court to have the footage disclosed in its original, untampered form. And guess who else got their hands on it? Yep, it's me. And I'm going to show it to you so you can judge for yourself the accuracy of the police's version of events as already stated.
Where? Opposite him. Oh boys, what's up? Waiting for me money back, mate. Okay. Being robbed off with my member of staff. Just come in with authorised motion code. Give me money back. Gone to check the cameras and all that. Okay. What do you mean they robbed you? I come in here last night for cash back. Fourth pack of chewy, asked for £50 cash back. Give me the £50, took another £50 from myself. Okay. And you know they did it, don't you? Yeah. Well, it's on the bank. I've got bank. I've just checked my account this morning and it's been took out 2 lots of £50, 64 pence. Okay. And I phoned the bank after the authorisation code to get me money back off them. He said, okay. But you know what's happening? No bank can authorise another shop to give you money back. That's the authorisation code. Okay. Just give me. Okay. Soon as we're repeating ourselves, I'll repeat myself again.
A bank does not have the authority to tell a shop.
Listen, mate, you just give me a...
Right, interrupt me again, and you won't have an excuse to talk to me again. Do you understand?
Listen, mate, I know me rights.
Right, your right is to leave the shop on the breach of the peace. Okay, now you're under arrest. Now you're under arrest for breach of the peace.
This is on camera, like this.
Put your hands in front of you now.
I won't. This is
No,
on
you
camera.
will.
I won't.
You've refused to move.
Listen, mate, this is on camera.
Listen to me.
You're going to show yourself, lad. You're going to fucking show yourself.
Last time.
You're going to show yourself.
Put your hand in front of you.
There
you go.
Oh my God, you little muppet.
Now you're under arrest for breach of peace.
You're a muppet.
You refuse to listen to me. You're
Listen,
swearing.
mate.
You're aggressive.
That's the worst CS gas ever, Dad.
Alright.
Worst gas ever.
You got one or two
Worst
choices.
gas
If it's
ever,
not
lad.
working, I'll whack you. It's starting to work now.
Listen, I need hand me hand.
Get down to the ground then.
You're on camera. You're on camera.
Mate,
Listen, please.
now you're resisting arrest.
He's assault, lad. You're on camera. What are you trying to do, lad? What are you trying to do?
Get down to the ground now.
He's on camera.
Yeah, that's fine.
What are you doing? Get down! Oh my God. Oh my God.
There you go.
What the fuck? Oh my God. What is this?
You're resisting arrest?
You haven't done none.
Yes, you have. Right. 0577 control.
Yeah, just don't kick off.
Yeah, one man in custody for
Oh,
breach of the peace originally. Now resist arrest as well.
yeah, just
Only you
careful,
shut
stand
your
up
mouth.
a bit.
We could have talked about it. I'm not here to be called a fucking muppet by you, do you understand? Yes, you did. It's all on camera.
I can taste it, it's horrible.
From the moment PC Mulvale arrives at the store, he aggravates the situation, not alleviates it. He goes from condescending to confrontational to threatening, then finally to berserk in under a minute, all fueled by the belief that a policeman's word is final and must always be obeyed, and anyone who dares to protest must be punished with arrest and malicious prosecution. On a side note, just why do the police turn up to every incident in gangs nowadays? They cannot seem to perform even the most routine of duties without piling in at least 4 deep. Is it so they'll have a legion of false witnesses to attest for them should they need to manipulate the truth later? Or is it just in the hope that they'll each get a turn at goading, punching, kicking and assaulting anything that talks back at them? Despite the suspect being restrained by 2 other officers, Mulvale still chooses to unload PAVA into the man's face before callously remarking,
There you go.
unfortunately, his aim is so bad he also hits PC Holly in the face with a back spray. What am I talking about bad? It's the only thing he did right. And as for the knee in the bollocks,
Oh my God.
later defined by Mulvale as a knee to the outer upper leg, is that a proportionate use of force against someone who's already been manhandled by 3 other officers, has a face full of PAVA, and, dare I say it, did nothing wrong?
If only you shut your mouth, we could have talked about it.
Not only is that a contradiction in terms, it pretty much sums up the police's overall policy to conflict management. Shut up and do whatever we say. But Mulvale's spiteful remark is an admission that the only reason the man has been beaten to the ground in the first place is because he didn't keep his mouth shut. How can any of this be lawful? And how can the officer's earlier witness statements, when compared against the security guard's body-worn video evidence, be anything other than perjury? Easy. Because you don't work in the professional standards department. And if you did, then you'd understand the cardinal tenet of the police complaint system. Cop good, complainant bad. PC Mulvale's misuse of force, spiteful use of PAVA, and all the lies he told in a bid to send a man to prison for an ABH that never occurred was described by West Midlands Police as being acting in good faith. The decision to arrest him was described as justified, the use of force was necessary and reasonable, and the only person described as violent at the scene was the poor man himself. The destruction of video evidence that proved the suspect's version of events was defined as a misunderstanding of data protection rules. Failure to switch on body-worn video by all officers involved was excused as an oversight due to the sudden escalation of the incident. Yeah, a sudden escalation caused by PC Mulvale himself. Nothing to do with the manager that the investigating officer blamed it all on later. And as for the officers' perjured and colluded witness statements, how did the PSD get around that? Simple, by refusing to even acknowledge that it took place. And if all that whitewash wasn't enough, they took 18 months to do it. In fact, West Midlands took so long to deal with the complaint that Ian Gould had to submit another complaint on his client's behalf, complaining about the first complaint. West Midlands' refusal to uphold complaints against any of their officers was eventually appealed to the IOPC. That added another 12 months of delay before it was kicked back to West Midlands once again, where they were told that the complaint handling was not reasonable and proportionate and to try again. So it's been 5 years since the original incident took place, and the Professional Standards Department have still yet to complete the complaint investigation or hold any of the officers to account. Meanwhile, Ian Gould took West Midlands Police to court. He successfully sued them on behalf of the man in this video, who was eventually awarded $22,500 in damages. Chief Constable admitted full liability and even admitted that the man had been wrongfully arrested and assaulted by all the officers concerned. But even this had no bearing on the PSD, who continue to operate in their own alternative dimension of truth and justice. They remain free to ignore court decisions, a Chief Constable's admission of liability, video evidence, and of course, the voice of the victim in all of this. A man who dared to say, "I know my rights," in the face of a police officer who couldn't have cared a toss about those rights. Copper Stopper is out now in paperback. It's packed with essential guidance on hundreds of law enforcement scenarios, traffic stops, home visits, street encounters, interviews, arrests, allegations, and covering victims of crime. It's your ultimate defence to protecting you from them. Follow the links in the description to purchase a copy today.